for the rest of his life. He wrote songs that moved him. And as you could tell, the earliest songs, when he played American Girl, it meant just as much as American Dream Part B, you know, from his last album, which is, you know, a remarkable song. He was always fully invested in those songs, and that's what it was always about. But at the same time, he understood it wasn't easy. He wrote Rhino Skin. You know Rhino Skin?
Yeah.
You need rhino skin if you're going to begin to walk through this world. You need elephant balls if you don't want to crawl on your hands through this world. You know, that is Tom. And that was the essence of who he was. So yeah, he brought that to the band and to Rick Rubin. And he said everyone, one by one, spoke to him like, love the rhino skin, Tom, love it. But you know the elephant balls? Maybe take the balls out of the elephant balls. Take that out. He said first Rick, and then one by one, everyone in the band said, yeah, I agree too. Take the elephant balls out. So Tom, being Tom, recognized that that's good, but he said, still, everyone's saying it. I tried to find something that would work as well, but nothing else did. So he kept it in, but he felt kind of, you know, battered by that. And it just shows, like, at that level. You know, John Lennon, at a certain level, he wasn't listening to anyone, except maybe Yoko, but he was, and I love Yoko, nothing wrong with that, you know, she was a good wife. But he was, John Lennon, man, Tom was always grounded. He was listening to everyone because he worked with people he respected always. And even though he liked to smoke marijuana, as you guys might know, he wasn't someone that smoked pot all the day. He would say, I would never smoke it for a session, you know, recording, never for a mix. He was very careful. He said maybe after the mix when you could relax. He was very serious. He was a real professional. Even when we worked on this book, which was really nice for me, because I've worked with other people since then on books, and really showed me how great Tom was to work with in every way. Number one, he was polite and kind, but he also knew, don't make it harder than it needs to be. We would never do more than 2 hours in one day. So you never go in thinking, oh God, this is going to be endless. This is going to be fun. And we'd never start before noon, primarily because he was never awake much before. And I love that too. He kept rocking and roll hours, always. And I'd come over, and he had 2 houses in Malibu. He had the big giant house, which he said was like the Golden Gate Bridge. The work never stops. You know, someone's always working. It was enormous. I never saw much of it because we go in his recording studio, which is really comfy. And he always had a conga drum for his table, and we had a little refrigerator with Cokes in them, but those little tiny Cokes in the glass bottles. And we'd always drink those, and he'd always have a funny outfit on. I remember sometimes he had this really old suit, maybe from the 30s, bright plaid, and he would just be smiling, like, can you believe someone would wear this? Big funny shoes, or these weird hats, or granny glasses, all sorts of stuff. It was always fun. Never the same thing twice. And he always had this kind of sleepy look in his eyes. I mean, sometimes he was drinking coffee before we drink Coca-Cola, because he just got up. But he was in a good mood. He wanted to talk about it. And he felt really happy. And I was living my life, and my son was just born, and I didn't live in Malibu at the time, though. I lived in North Hollywood, which is quite a drive from there. So I never wanted to be late for Tom Petty, obviously. So I would give myself so much time that I was always way early. And so I would sit outside of the gates usually. I think cell phones were really new then. This was in 2005. I would just call friends and go, yeah, I'm here outside the gates. And then I'd wait till it was time to go in. But he always had that look of like, yeah, let's go again. And we'd never have much small talk. Like, so what's going on? We just get to it. Like, what do you want to start with today? And he liked that I mean, the idea besides talking about his life was to talk about the songs. Every song he recorded up to then, even ones that came out on and the anthology and cuts that weren't on the official albums. So I would come in knowing the songs. And I love that he wrote a little intro for it, which was one of the greatest things I've ever read. It was just so beautiful to read it. And because he mentioned me. And I know I was there with him the whole time, but you know, it was just really great, right there in our book. He said that he liked doing the book with me was because I had passion for songwriters and the way they wrote songs. And also, he said, Paul would come in ridiculously prepared, even to the extent of knowing how to play the songs himself. Which was true. But not to butter up the guy alone, but because it was so cool to learn his songs. I mean, anyone who loves music and plays it would want to do that. Like, he loved that. So I would come in knowing the songs really well, but sometimes he hadn't thought about one of those songs for a long time. So after one of the first times I did that, he goes, afterwards, he said, you know what, why don't you tell me in advance from now on what songs you want to talk about next time, and I'll do my homework. And he did. And that's being a pro. But it also was funny because he'd listen to him and he'd remind himself and he'd come back with really good knowledge about really, intricate parts and what, the tone Mike used on the magnetone amp, that kind of thing, this kind of wobble thing. And so when the book came out, that was another thing people wrote. Kind of hard to believe that someone like Tom Petty, who was known to have a fondness for marijuana, would have such, amazing recall of every song over a decade. How is that even possible? As if we faked that. I guess in a way we did. He had advance warning, but I don't think I'm obligated to tell that. But there are a couple times too. It only happened twice where we'd spend a couple hours talking about a song, and or a chapter of his life, and he'd call me at home afterwards. And one was after he talked about being a celebrity and how hard it could be for him to be famous. He said that to him it was in a lot of ways like going to a party with your psychiatrist. Which I didn't quite get at first, but he said, it's like someone that's paying attention to everything you do. Like if you dropped your napkin, you dropped the napkin. He said, people pay really close attention at all times. It's uncomfortable. And other times when he talked about, just going out for something to eat with Dana, and people would see him in the car and go nuts. And fucking out there, you can go crazy. So it did get a little scary, but so he told me a lot of those stories, and then he called me that night. He goes, you know what, Paul? Would you mind terribly if we don't put that in the book? Because really, no one wants to hear me complain about being a rock star. And I didn't mind. And that's another thing about Tom. He could have just said, you know what, we're taking that out. And of course I would. I'm not going to argue with him. It's his book. Really wouldn't have been the same without Tom, And the other time he did that was after we talked about Howie. And Tom's emotions, as you guys know, he was so expressive. Like I say, you could be at the back of the stadium and he's singing one of those songs and it gets right to you. And not in a minor way, in a full way. And that's why I've seen a lot of tears here, and I understand. I feel the same way. He meant so much to us, and those songs, they've gotten us through his loss, the loss of him, and so many other things. But he understood that, and it just always meant more to him than just about anything. So he really appreciated talking about all of it. Let's see here. A couple other points I want to make before wrapping it up. Okay. Let's see. Well, it was when he was talking about Howie. It was really tough for him to go through Howie's death and his problems with heroin. And the first time he talked about it, I'd never felt such sorrow for him. He talked about his problems with the industry and frustration and anger, but this was just pure sorrow, and I never felt it, but you could feel it was palpable. Just exactly when he talked about happy things. And the happy things were so happy, and the two happiest by far were, number one, the Wilburys, because that was pure joy for Tom. Getting to work with people that Tom Petty respected. He didn't look up to many people, but these guys, Roy Orbison, George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Jeff Lynne, he looked up to those guys, and that was just a thrill, because that was just done for fun, for joy. Though it created a great album and hits, they did it just for fun. They wrote every song in one day, had great food, great lunch, and they would record it that night, Jeff Lynne producing, and they just had great fun, switching up vocals and stuff, and singing with Roy Orbison. For all of them, it was just a thrill. And the other that was just pure joy was talking about Dana, because he went through tough times. His divorce with Jane, we didn't discuss it, but it was really hard for him, and he moved to what he called the Chicken Shack afterwards on Sunset Boulevard. And I saw him during that time, and he was desolate. He seemed lost. That happy Tom guy that I knew, he wasn't there, and I was worried maybe I'll never get to see that guy again. And but I did, and when Dana came into his life, he was a transformed guy. He was happier than ever. And I wasn't the only one to know this. I mean, everyone that knew him felt it. Because she was a real angel. When they met, she was still married, and he was thinking, man, if only she wasn't married. And then it turned out they just happened to meet again, and she was single by then. And the night he met her, he had a dream. He saw her face, and he just felt hope and love. And he wrote that song, Angel Dream. And Dana was really an angel, and she changed his life. He was a pretty neurotic guy. He hated listening to his own albums, She insisted. She said, I'm a Tom Petty fan. I listen to these albums. He said, it's okay, but you do it when I'm not around. She said, no, you're going to have to learn to like it. And he listened, and he said, you know, I realized, because he would hear the imperfection. He was a perfectionist, and it's impossible to achieve perfection, usually if you're a human. That's why we're human. We're not saints or angels, but try to get pretty close. But he would hear those imperfections, but then he heard it, and he said, you know, I realized it wasn't just a lot of wasted time. It was pretty good. Yeah, we always do that. It took Dana for him to get that. And so many times during, you know, he and Dana, they were just starting to live together in Malibu pretty recently then. And anytime she would walk by, you'd see the light in his eyes and the love. And often she'd bring us smoothies or something that would just cheer him up or make us chili. And they just had a thing going on. Like sometimes I wasn't trying to get too close because they were lovebirds, you know, and not ones that have been together forever. And it was really sweet to see it. And she's just a great person. So I would feel that, the romance and the love. And Tom said, you know, it was love at first sight. And he goes, I never really thought that was a real thing. You know, I thought it was a cliche, but it can be real. And I know she felt the same way. And you know, she's just been great. What she's gone through, I can't even imagine. Just the toughest thing. But because of her, we get to do this new edition of the book, which comes out February 13th. Because I insisted on sharing the copyright with Tom. Because I want to help him out if I can, you know, make him a few bucks. But no, in truth, it was our book. I never thought of something I'm writing. It was a collaboration. So we needed Dana's okay, and she said yes. And then she came through with a wonderful thing that she wrote for the introduction. So much of which was about how much Tom loved his fans and how much this book mattered because it was about that love, and that she wanted all of you to know how much Tom cared about you, that it wasn't just about him or his art separate from you, that it was always about you and about the fans, and it always will be the future fans. And that's why she loved the book. And she said that he liked doing the book, because after I'd leave, I was wondering, and she said he would be so happy because he was a great storyteller, as you know, and he loved telling these stories. She said, but there was that one time he came in and he was almost in tears. And I said, what's wrong? He said, I just told him all about Howie, and it was just so sad. And Dana said it was probably the hardest thing he went through, you know, since she knew him. She was the one that told him when she found the news. And he said, you know what, all I did was tell Paul about the real dark parts and the heroin and his girlfriend at the time. And I didn't say anything good about Howie, and I just feel bad. I don't know what to do. And Dana said, you know, maybe you should pick up the phone, Tom, and just call Paul and tell him that. And Tom goes, I guess I could. According to what Dana said, I guess I could. What harm could that do? Like, I might get angry. Like, no, Tom, we've done that when we're moving on. And he told me that. And he's like, would you mind maybe doing it over? And I said, of course not. And I thought it was so nice that he was that polite. He could have just said, we got to do that over. But would you mind? But also that he cared about Howie that much. So this was a book for the ages. People are going to remember things. He's putting down his history from directly. And he cared about Howie. He cared about everyone. And he wanted to get it right. That's who he was. And I know for a fact a lot of these amazing miracle songwriters, not amazing people. It's not easy to be a genius in something and to relate to regular people. And it was tough for him to go after shows to meet with the crowd. Not because he was snobby, but because, as he said, I was just flying so hard to come down and try to talk to someone. It was hard. But he cared, and he always gave his full. I was there at his very last show at the Hollywood Bowl, not knowing it'd be his last show ever, and I'm sure many of you were at his final 40th anniversary tour. And he did it. He finished, 40 years, finished the tour. And it was a week to that day that he started his next adventure. But he finished it. He went out on top, and that's what it was about for Tom. He never gave his last. I know a lot of us who thought, oh my God, it's too soon. But when you look at back how much he left us, we really have no right to ask for any more. If he gave us 4 of those songs, that would be great. But so many and so many still to come. But I also wanted to ask him, just wrapping up, like, what's the trick? When you go out and play in front of 50,000 people, and you're still you, and you're relating to everyone, and you're all united by songs, and you're playing with this band, but you're in this giant, Coliseum. It's enormous, those shows he was playing. Huge crews. It's bigger than a circus that they carry around town with. Usually no elephants, though. But he would do it, and as you guys know, he would be in the center of the thing. He wasn't distant, he was right there. You know, that last show, I was right in the front for his final show, taking pictures, and he noticed me there. And Big Tommy just came over and gave me the shot. But I was so stunned that he did that, I didn't focus. Literally. I believe the shot. But Big Tom, he probably sensed that. He gave it to me like 4 more times. And when Dana saw those pictures, she said, he knew. He was doing that. And that picture from that night is in the new book that's coming out. And I'm happy to have it there. But I asked him, what's the key to it? What's the trick? How do you do that? How do you go out in front of 50,000 people and do that with such grace and joy and love and passion? And he said, the secret really, he said, first of all, I'm not sure if people even know, but some of my shows, they get downright frenzied. I think we do know that. But he said, the secret really is the most important thing, have a good time. Don't take it too seriously. You got to take it seriously enough that it happens. But don't let anything throw you. You can't be thrown by something breaking. You got to remember that all the audience is there to see you. They like you. And they all want to do is see you and hear you play some songs. So if you keep it on that level and you're enjoying it, that will carry, and they'll enjoy it. But if I go up there and really enjoy myself, it's going to travel. But if I go up there and get worried because a light breaks or something bothers me, they're going to feel that in the farthest regions of the room. So you can't do that. So I always try to enjoy it, and the audience sustains me. And that is the truth. And that is the truth. The audience sustained Tom. And he sustained us. So I want to thank everyone who's here at Gainesville, Tom Petty, some of the amazing musicians came right out of this place, and I'm so happy to be here for the first time and to share it with all of you, because we all share this love in a big way. This love's going to be around forever. So thank you so much.